Let's go, street pro, bottom line. Flow, canteen, hot take, J&O. Sports professor, you know.
Street professor back again, it's game time. A la playa, no playtime, it's Klay guy. Cause we ain't talking about practice like AI. Sports professor spit the best takes out like AI. Artfully intelligent, I can't write mine. Rhyme citing your girl's DMs like Messi after the goal time. That was a triple entendre, did you catch me rambling? Flipping Simone Biles, we the bottom line champions.
I need my hands, just like this one.
Let's go, street pro, bottom line. Flow, canteen, hot take, J&O. Sports professor, you know. Yo, street professor, I'm back, baby, like I never left. Bottom line, flow, canteen, hot take, J&O. Street! Stop!
Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. Yeah, these championship rings on my hands now. In my head, I'm top 10, yeah, that's hands down. You a squad, now you're looking man down. Funny how foes turn to friends now. Drive a race car like a Atari now. Call filling up, I need product again. Treat the business like a playground, might slide on you. Do me wrong, might slide on you. Do a backflip, cause I'm mad rich. I'm the definition of what that is. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. I'm a warrior, I go back to back, then go back to back. If I top the top, then a double back, and I'm topping that. Yeah, I beat my own records. Yeah, I gotta get money fetish. Same team, I don't set trip. Never dull, this electric. Went and put the Ricks on my toes. Me and bro, that's the give and go. Stay 100, end zone. Keep them coming. I know. I won't flood my wrist, no, I'm not dumb like that. No. I just wanna give my mama 100 racks. Go hard, or go home. 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 Touchdown like the end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home. Go home. Go hard, or go home. Go hard, or go home.
Yo.
Go hard, or go home.
Yo. End zone. Home. Go hard or go home, baby. It's time for the Ballman Sports. Let's get this going on. Welcome to the Ballman Sports episode 145 on your Facebook group. And go hard or go home, baby.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Hey, I'm Flo. That guy over there is Canteen. Ooh, and the guy down here in the corner. I think Jake, he's taking Omar's spot.
What happened to him?
Omar's at work. The sports professor won't be here.
Where's Jake? What happened to Jake?
It's a 3. And go hard or go home, baby. Welcome to the Bottom Line Sports. Catch us on all your platforms. We partner with Let's Talk Sports Network. And, where'd he go?
I don't know where he went, but catch us on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube,
There he is.
all your social media platforms. The
All your
Bottom
social
Line
media-
Sports Show.
But I
We
won't
currently
Okay.
got 1,900 members. We're trying to shoot for at least $22,000 or 2250 by the Super Bowl.
$2250 by the Super Bowl. Let's go.
Let's go, man.
All right, let's go. Let's get it. You can also find Sports Professor on Ball and Buds, Sports and Entertainment on Facebook and YouTube. Also, if you want to catch I'll Take Jake at the Final Say Podcast on YouTube. Find him over there as well. What's up? Tomorrow. What's up, Madden?
Maul, what's up, bro?
What's up? Don't take off yet. Have a good show. Don't leave. Yeah, he's commenting while we were coming in. He said,
going live during the Celtics and Cavs game has got to get Omar.
Oh, that's why.
Probably ain't even watching the game.
Who knows? He probably watching on his phone. He said he's working. I don't know. Maybe he just after watching the game. I'm just kidding. He said he was working, so he's scared to show up. All right.
No, he's scared of that game. He wants
okay.
Let's team to break that streak. They won't do it, though.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all your sports and network. Catch us on the 2X channels on Let's Talk Sports and the Bottom Line Sports, which we are. Let's Talk Sports as well. Come on, Omar's Ball and Buds as well. Facebook channels, mine and the Bottom Line Sports. So go catch us. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that like button. We appreciate you hitting that like button. That really helps us out. We get 5, 10, 12 likes. That's great. Helps us out. So appreciate you hit that like button. Share this content, comment, and join the conversation.
Yeah.
Let's go. Help us out here. Let's go. Let's get into this. So, guys, as you know, the Sports Professor, he gives us the hockey highlights, and he gets us let me do it right. The Sports Professor's mixed bag. And unfortunately, he's not going to be here, so we're going to bypass those two because only the Sports Professor can do those as he can. So, we're going to talk. Let's talk a little lighthearted, a little bit, I guess. Let's talk about Tyson Jake Paul. Yeah. So, yeah.
Talking about that paid fight.
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people talk about, he looked washed, Tyson and this and that. Jake Paul went easy on him. Canteen, the more I look at it, Canteen, look at the fight. I mean, I'm not a boxing expert. I've seen a lot of boxing, but to me, Tyson, I think he was holding back. I think there was a lot of talk online on the internet about the longer the fight went, the more Tyson got. If he knocked Jake Paul out, he would get less money, that kind of stuff. And to be fair, if you look at the fight again, there was times where he held back.
Yeah.
If you look at his workouts, I mean, he was like punching super. I mean, he looked good even though it was first.
So man, when I kind of get an evaluation of that fight, man, I think, man, Mike Tyson was like in the premier shape of his life. He had worked out, done well, put in a lot of great work, man. I think this entire fight was scripted. It was for fans, and it was scripted out for Jake Paul to win and everything. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to look at this guy made $40 million. Mike Tyson made $20 million. But the best fight out of all the fights was the fight between the two females. The female that won shouldn't have won. I don't know all the names and stuff off the top of my head, because I really wasn't watching it that close. I mean, I was watching it, but I really wasn't in tune with it. But at the end of the day, man, I think, I mean, it was just pure entertainment. I mean, where did they have the fight? They went to Dallas, Jerry's World, pack it out, generate a lot of revenue, money, all those different things. But at the end of the day, man, I think, I mean, it was scripted for the entire fight, man. That's what I have. That's my take on it, man.
Well, now you feel like it was scripted. And
I do, man.
It was all scripted, and it was intended to go 8 rounds. What do you got, Jake, on this fight? That was
Yeah, I agree with him completely. First off, let me complain real quick. Netflix.
It was Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano.
Yeah, Netflix. Go ahead, Jake, with the Netflix.
Netflix. You have the NFL coming up. You have WWE coming up. I better damn near not see streaming. Boy, that streaming was terrible.
Circle of death, man.
That was bad to watch. I mean, hell, you couldn't even watch the fight half the time. It was embarrassing. Please step up. It's embarrassing.
Oh, why, man? You know you should. You interject. We gonna get to that.
Oh, he's already going in on you, man. J-Daw's going in on you, man.
J-Daw's, we gonna get to that. Just
to your point, Jay. Before you get into the fights, I mean, it was horrible. I mean, you gotta believe. And then even during if you look at the broadcast, some of the mics weren't working.
Netflix was not ready for it.
Yeah, they were not ready for this. And They definitely weren't ready. I mean, this was this was like Super Bowl numbers.
Yeah,
And they were not ready. Go ahead, Jake. Continue your point.
Well, that's what I'll say. And then not only that, they have to worry because you have the King coming soon. You have the NFL. I think it's the Steelers and the Chiefs.
Christmas Day
here in about a month.
Yeah, all the games.
And then you have WWE goes live for good starting in January. So
yeah,
y'all better step up your game, bro. Y'all want to get paid? All this? Come on,
right?
Get more subscribers.
And the caveat on what Jake is saying, man, I think you have to do a test run. You have to test something of on a lower scale before you project something as big as this, man. Because I'm like, we watching the fight this stream. It's like the server keeps going 25%, 30%. Like that's bad business. So like I said, I hope
bad business, man.
I hope they find a way to mitigate this issue before Christmas. Because like I said, you got some of the big premier NFL games on Christmas.
Right.
And then another thing I want to throw out there, I know we haven't even got to the college football playoff or anything of that nature. But a lot of those college football playoff games aren't going to be on regular TV. Y'all know that, right? They're going to be on like Max, Cinemax, and other different streaming.
They're going to be paid? No way.
No, they're going to be on Max. I'm telling you.
For real?
Like the playoffs, some of the playoff games going to be on Max and stuff like that. Yeah.
Really? No way. Is that already confirmed?
Flow is confirmed.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I mean, I was like, is that for real?
I didn't know either.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they should do that for the college playoffs. I mean, to be fair, I think that's going to take away the audience. I think that's going to take away people. They're not going to pay for a college game. I mean, you got to the college football fans are kind of niche. It's like
more regional,
right?
Regional, and it's also niche. It's like not everybody does college. I mean, because even the NFL, you have a lot of females that watch the NFL. You know, they got their team and they root for them. They may not know. Some of them do know, a lot of what goes on the, know the plays and all that. But a lot of them are just fans of the football team, and it's true with college too. But it's like Jake said, it's very regional, and I don't think you're going to get numbers to get that kind of pay-per-view.
No, they should keep it on live. Yeah, I would hope they did it on ABC. Most of the ABC stuff like that. ESPN. Yeah.
Oh, it says playoffs going to be on ESPN. That's what Jay said. Jay Dawson.
Some of them going to be on ESPN and some of them going to be on Max, man. I'm telling you, I just saw it confirmed, man.
It's bad business like trusting Canteen's picks. Come on, Jay, get on here.
I'm not going to argue with Jay Dawson,
man. He's getting you, man. He's on you.
The games are going to air through True TV and Max. I'm telling him, why would I sit up? Never mind, man.
He just says you're trash, man.
Oh. All right. I know what I'm talking about.
All right, man. Let's know what you think about
my
whole Netflix and all that. But I know you talked about one of the fights, Canteen. But if you want to talk about the best fight of the night is Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. I know you're more of a boxing fan than Canteen. You want to kind of talk about a couple of the fights. Also, the Mario Barrios.
I didn't get to watch.
Ramos. Oh, you didn't get to watch him?
I didn't get to watch because Netflix was pending that long, and I finally got it to pinned when it finally came to the fight.
Well, this is a tip for everybody out there. What I did is I would go out of it and come back in, and it would come back up. That's how I did it. I don't know if you tried that.
Man. It was bad.
Yeah,
it was bad.
That's what I did. Whenever it froze up, I would just get out of the app.
Yeah.
And go
so
back
watching the highlights with the Tyson and Paul fight,
right?
You could tell how staged it was. Here's the thing. I think Tyson even forgot that he was supposed to lose because if you watch the first couple punches, he rocks the hell out of Jake Paul.
He almost hit it.
And then they clinch up. And I think that's when Jake whispers and says, bro, you're going to lose $20 million. I get knocked out. And I bet you Mike Tyson started playing haphazardly after that.
Yeah.
Said, crap. I'm trying to say.
But then when you look at the entire fight, though, guys, they kind of catered to what Mike Tyson wanted. They wanted to do 8 rounds, 2-minute rounds, and all that good stuff. And then, like I said, I knew Mike Tyson wasn't in for the best fight of his life. I could tell when the first round or two, he had that knee brace on, and he just looked kind of peaky, man. He wasn't like boxing or fighting at full force to me.
Well, he did mention that biting his gloves is kind of a habit, and I think it's a nervous habit. I think he started biting his gloves more once after the first round or two, where he figured, he's got to hold back, so he kind of got nervous. He wanted to make sure he held back, and I think that's why he was biting his gloves. It was a nervous tendency, a nervous tick or tactic or whatever. because he was trying to, think about it before he comes at him and tries to punch him. Maybe that's just me. Let us know what you guys think over there, out there in the internet land. Let us know what you think. What happened here? But everybody says Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, as Canteen
was
said,
the better fight, and that
was
gives me
the
more
better
mad
fight.
that I get to see it.
Yeah, and Amanda Serrano's eye, man, it just split open. It was an ugly thing to see. If any of you were able to see that, man, it was just hanging down her eye, and I'm surprised it didn't stop the fight. To be honest, I've seen worse. I've seen not as bad, and then they stopped the fight. So it was she was a trooper to stay in there. It was an accidental headbutt. I think they were both. I don't think it was intentional. They were both kind of coming in with their heads. If you look at the fight, I think it was unintentional. That's just the way she fights, and they were just kind of banging heads, and it just happened to hit her just right. I mean, those headbutts sometimes they hit you in the right spot, hits the bone and it just cuts you open, and sometimes. But yeah, unfortunately, that's happened, and I don't think it was robbery. I think it was a close fight. Something. I think you could go either way. I don't think it was a robbery. I mean, it was a good fight. Amanda had more power shots, I think, but Katie had some good combinations in there. And then also Mario Barrios and Abel Ramos was it was a split draw, but that was a good fight as well. I think Barrios won that, but that was back and forth, man. They looked pretty beat up at the end of that one. If you were able to see it, I mean, if it wasn't freezing up on you, but it got worse if you were able to see that fight, man. But yeah, a lot of good stuff, a lot of good fights. Let us know what you guys think of that. The whole internet, the Netflix, and the fights, and was it kind of a staged fight? For lack of a better term, it feels like it was. Let us know what you guys think. Yeah, yeah. The more you think about it, the more you look at it, I think it was somewhat staged. It was like, hey, we got to have it last 8 rounds. We can't have Jake Paul get knocked out, because you know what? And my last point, Canteen and Jake. Part of the appeal of these fights is that people want to see Jake, Paul get knocked out. Part of the appeal is, and if he gets knocked out, then there's no appeal. The appeal kind of drops. Yeah. So the next fight, whoever it might be, they're going to want to see Jake Paul get knocked out. And so I don't think they wanted it. That's part of the appeal of these fights, why people want to watch them, because they want to see him get his head knocked off. And, that's why people watch. So if he gets busted up already, they're going to make fun of him and troll him and all that, that. But anyway, I think that's part of it as well. All right, let's go. Any final thoughts, guys?
Good, bro.
Okay, let's go. All right, so we get to this. Let's take a little NBA action. So if you guys saw, I don't know if you saw the ovation that Klay Thompson got coming back to the Chase Center.
Mm-hmm.
There in Golden State, had a great reception. It was a great moment in the NBA season so far. One of the great moments so far. I mean, they really applauded him, and he was just had his hand up, and he was kind of thanking the crowd, making gestures, thanking them for their kindness and the way they kind of brought him back and showed him real appreciation for all the championships he helped bring there, and all that he did for Golden State. So. Talk about that, Ken and Jake. What do you think? How did you like, or what did you think about that ovation he got going back?
So for me, man, I think that was a great, standing ovation, kind of representing him, letting him come back home in a sense. But as we look at like the first, 10 games, through his first 10 games of the season, man, he scored at least 14 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 2.3 assists, and he's shot at least 42% from the field and 35% as far as 3-pointers. In the season. So he's done really well. I think he's a great match at the Denver Mavericks. But as we look at the Denver Mavericks right now, as a season, they're at 7-7 right now. So currently at this point in the season, they're ranked number 11 in the West Coast Conference. So they got a lot of room for improvement. But as far as him going back home, he had a phenomenal game. Showed out, man. So shout out to Klay Thompson back in the Golden State.
Yeah, that was a great moment. I just wanted to, kind of mention it. It's nothing, no big, we have to spend a lot of time on it. But yeah, it was just a great moment, Jake.
It was a good moment. I think it's time to move on, though. I think both of them will now do their own thing. I think the Warriors look better without him.
Yeah.
And maybe it's still to see what the Mavs can do with him. And I still pinned on that. I don't believe. I think they're a bad defensive team. The Mavs are, judging off of what I've been seeing.
Okay.
They don't have a good defender. Klay wasn't a great defender anymore during his last tenure with the Warriors the last few years.
Right.
Yeah.
And
But
the
do you think
Warriors look tremendously better.
Do you think he's a good fit for the Mavericks, though? Even though, because he's got a different game now. I mean,
I
he's
don't
obviously
think to
a
win
shooter.
a chip he is, because you need
Really?
a defensive stopper. And now you,
But I mean,
if
he
you
came
would
there
have all
for
three on the
your
court.
spot-up guy, right?
Yeah, well, what worries me is you would have to score 110 plus every game, because if you can't play defense, because you have three liabilities on the court at the same time. Kyrie's never been a good defender. Luka hasn't, and Klay's not any good. So that's three defenders now that are subpar at the same time.
And to be fair, right now they're 7-7, so they aren't doing great, but they're not horrible. So to your point, maybe they also should have added a defensive stopper of some kind to come in there and kind of be the guy who takes that mantle of being your defensive guy, whether it be in the middle, your big guy who kind of guards the goal, or whether it be a guy who just kind of guards the best player. Yep. All right, let's move on to some more NBA. So the Bucks canteen, I think they're 5-9 at this point, I believe.
Yeah, at this point, season,
Can they turn it around? What's wrong with the Bucks? Are they broken, or is it just early? I mean, it doesn't look good for the Bucks right now.
I mean, Flo, as we always say, man, there's a lot of basketball left. Early on in the season, I think the Bucks can resurface, but then you have like potential powerhouses like the Cavaliers are 15-0 at this point. And I know we're going to cover the Cavaliers notes and stuff like that. But the Cavaliers are struggling with Boston right now. You got the Celtics are 11-3. You got the Magic 9-6, and you got the Knicks at 8-6. So you got those top teams, and it's still early on. I mean, there's 82 games in basketball, so I think it's 82 or something like that. So I think that the Bucks can turn things around. They just got to get with it and get with it expeditiously. And as we stated last year, man, I think the biggest thing for most of the teams, man, is to play great basketball, but go hard up until All-Star break.
Right.
Once you get the All-Star break, then you kind of separate the men from the boys, and then that's when you determine, hey, who's going to do what, because you got to make that final stretch, that final run until the end of March, going into early April before the playoff season. So still a lot of basketball left, but hey, get in gear, Bucks. Get in gear expeditiously.
Okay. So you think they can get it in gear by when do they have to show some kind of change, canteen? By Christmas, or what do you think?
They need to go on a nice winning streak, and then march into Christmas. They need to march into the holidays, and at least.
You mean what? Over 500 for sure.
Over 500, but they need to be in at least sixth or fifth place.
Okay, be in that kind of that middle.
Yeah,
kind of moving their way up.
You never want to lag down in 7, 8, and 9. You never want to be in that play-in type of situation. So you want to be in a position where you can kind of control your destiny. So 5 or 6 is a good pivot point for the Bucks, man.
What do you think, Jake, about the Bucks? Are they kind of? They're struggling early on. Is this just kind of a hiccup at the early of the season?
This team's done for. I'm sorry.
They're
I'm calling spade. Wow. This team is too old. There's no hope for them. They can maybe make the playoffs as a 7th, 8th seed. They're out in the first round. They're not ready. This is over. Every time I see them, boy, did they age fast after that championship. They just
Giannis looks good,
That's it. That's it. Yeah, Lillard is a liability. He's not the same Lillard from years prior.
Yeah.
It's bad to watch. They're practically winning off of nail biters now.
What do you think about Middleton?
Yeah, Middleton.
He's not the same.
Yeah,
he's not the same. It's not the same. This team, like I said, their ceiling to me is a play-in game.
Lillard's still averaging
in the first
25
round.
points a game. He's still averaging 25 points a game. It's not like he's trash.
That they have no hope right now. There's nothing. Giannis will be gone after this year. I would not be surprised if he requests a trade.
Okay. Where would he go? Where would he request to go, you think? If he requested a trade after this year. We're it's a little ahead of ourselves, but do you have
I think they'll send him west. I would think Minnesota.
Okay. Where do you think Giannis would want to go? Because if they're going to send him, they probably would send him somewhere he'd want to go.
Big market wise.
Yeah. Don't you think he might maybe want to go to I would think OKC.
OKC good fit for him.
They're a young team, and he could be the veteran in there. He could be he doesn't have to play center. He can be that power forward.
I'd have to see that. I don't know. The thing on me, on Giannis, is Giannis has to.
They need some defense on OKC, a little better defense.
Giannis has to establish that he can be a superstar through in and throughout. He had one good season. He has not done nothing since.
Well, nothing in the
show us something.
Okay. All right. It's hard to win by yourself, though. All right. Let's know what you guys think.
I gave him D-Lil.
Can they turn it around? Yeah. All right. So, kind of the next topic of the game, and right now, it may be a moot point at this point. Celtics are up 7 on the Cavaliers with 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
But Cavs got off to 15-0 start. Assuming they can come back and win this game, if they can pull this game out, can they get that record? I think it was set by the Warriors at 24-0. They went 24 games before they lost one. Yeah. And if they don't, you don't think they can win this game? What do you think about the Cavs start so far? I mean, can they keep this up?
All right, man. So when we look at the Cavs, man, as of today, man, they're 15-0. The Cavaliers have been the top scoring team, averaging at least 123 points per game. They've been shooting at least 52% from the field goal, and they've been shooting at least 42% from 3-point. Now you got to look at the key players that are really keeping this organization afloat, man. You got Donovan Mitchell. He's averaging at least 25 points per game. He's been like their offensive weapon. Darius Garland has getting about 7 assists per game. He's another instrumental asset as well. Yeah. And then, Jared Allen, 10.9 rebounds per game. So at this point in the season, as far as you just said, the Golden State Warriors had that 24-0 record. I don't think the Cavs are going to win tonight, but hey, it's okay. They're still in the driver's seat for the Eastern Conference at this point in the season.
All right. So what do you think? Can the Cavs pull it out, Jake? And if not, I mean, obviously
they're down 100 to 107 now. I think it's over.
There's 5 minutes left. They can come back. But assuming they don't. What about their start? Can they keep this up? I mean, they seem like
they can keep it up. I don't know if they're big enough though to beat the Celtics when it comes playoff time. Here's the only thing: they're a little too small for me. The thing about the Celtics, they're long everywhere. I'll give that to Omar. Jason Tatum's very long. Jaylen Brown. They have a long lineup. Guys their arms are huge. You're real small with the Donovan Mitchell.
Can they small ball them? I mean, can they small ball them? And just be the quicker team.
If it's a game of 3, I get you. A game of 7, man, you got to do that 4 games in a row.
It's gonna be harder. Okay.
4 out of 7 is tough to do.
So can they stay atop of the East? Like maybe 1, 2,
They
3,
can, but I don't think it does anything to the Celtics. I think the Celtics have been there. Not only that, you pissed off the Celtics this past year. You really pissed them off, which is crazy to piss off a championship team. Doing what you did to Jason Tatum in the USA men's basketball team, benching him the way you did.
How is that the Cavs' fault?
No, what I'm saying is the Celtics just look like they're on a mission, like they never won the chip in the first place.
Oh, so you think you put a chip on his shoulder and now the whole team?
You put it back on Jason Tatum's shoulder. Jaylen Brown didn't even get invited to the damn show.
Right. Oh, so you're saying
these guys are pissed.
The guys they want to make a point. They want to go out to prove a point because of the Olympics.
It's like they were the most disrespected team that won. I want to see what they do. Let's see if they're real.
Let's see if they respond. Right now, they're playing well, and they do have the lead on the Cavaliers. Let us know what you guys think about the Celtics and the Cavs. Can the Cavs pull this out and continue their win streak? And even if they don't, can the Cavs continue to be atop the East in that 1, 2, maybe 3 spot? Let us know your thoughts on that. All right. Any final thoughts on that? Let's go.
Nah, man, we're good.
All right, let's go. All right, so college football playoffs, Canteen. I know you're a big college. I'm going to let you kind of take the lead on this. Some games you want to talk about, but let's look at some games last week that we want to talk about and where that puts these teams. I know your Georgia Bulldogs needed this win. You can talk about them as well, but kind of talk about some big games that happened this weekend and where that kind of how that's shaping the playoffs.
All right, man. So let me caveat on a few games that were really, really major playing pieces last week. We can go ahead and hit Utah, Colorado first.
Okay.
I think that's the one we want to talk about, Jake. When we look at Utah, Colorado, man, Utah scored 24, Colorado scored 49. The kid Wilson, the quarterback from Utah, went 21 for 40, 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Mitchell, their running back, 77 carries, 78 yards, and Ryan, their receiver, 4 receptions, 78 yards. Shedeur Sanders had a phenomenal game, out of the park game, man. 30 for 41, threw for 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Auguste Dave, their running back, 7 receptions, 7 carries, 59 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Miller, one of their receivers, 6 receptions, 108 yards, 1 touchdown. I think this really solidifies the seriousness of Colorado at this point in the season. Nothing but kudos to Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders and his staff, Warren Sapp, everybody else. Shedeur's played great ball. Travis Hunter had a phenomenal game. I think this may be the icing on the cake for Travis Hunter when we start talking about.
I like it.
When we start looking at the Heisman stuff now, Flo, I will say this right here. Colorado, they do have a pretty light schedule the duration of the season. They got Kansas this weekend, and then they got Oklahoma State next weekend. I don't foresee them losing any games at this point.
To be fair, Kansas has been kind of frisky. They've actually been pretty frisky. So, I mean, I'm not saying they're going to beat them for sure, but they've been frisky, and they're playing in Kansas. So that's the game I see. If they'll lose a game, remaining.
And if they do lose the game, it'll be a close game. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it'll be close. But then I think they'll end up manhandling Oklahoma State with I forgot the coach's name, man. The guy with the mullet, man. I forgot his name. Mike Gundy. Mike Gundy with the mullet. But
mullet.
Hey, man, at the end of the day, man, that was a really, really good game. Colorado
mullet, man,
was one of my great games. Another game that I want to caveat on, man.
And we talk about the games you talked about, and me and Jake can talk about it, and then we'll go.
Yeah. Y'all go ahead, man. My bad, man. I ain't
go ahead, Jake.
To the Thunder, man. Go ahead.
Well, the biggest, Colorado did their thing. I'm so proud of them. I told you how good this team was this year. The biggest game wasn't even that game, though, Canteen, for Colorado. You know what the biggest game was?
What was that?
That Kansas team beat that so-called undefeated BYU team.
That's right.
Changed the whole entire Big 12 just like that.
Right.
Didn't change anything.
Oh, man, it's about to be scarcity as well. Here's the thing. Now you're walking into the playoffs, Flo. And now Colorado beats Kansas this week. BYU now is thinking to themselves, damn, Colorado's beat everybody in front of us. Arizona State lost to them recently, too.
Arizona State.
I'm telling you, Colorado's about to walk in as a big favorite. It's about to scare half these damn Big 12 teams. I can't wait to watch.
I don't know. I don't think so. Why?
Oh, man. Hey, BYU looked all this great and almighty, and then Kansas went in there and whooped them 17-13
but
this
could be a trap game, and Kansas is playing a lot of teams close. If you watch the Big 12, they play a lot of the good teams in the Big 12 close. And so that's what I'm saying.
Bad teams is if you keep them in the game early, they get chances and they start believing in themselves. The thing that I love about Colorado is they love to kill you right there, right in the first quarter.
I don't know.
They like to dagger you there. I think they'll do it too.
I haven't been like that.
I'm proud.
I don't know.
BYU, man, congrats. I knew these guys were overrated.
Well, I mean, and BYU's got 2 more games. They have a tough game against Arizona State, who is ranked 21st, and then they finish out with Houston, who hasn't had a good season. So, but Houston's also kind of a frisky team. I mean, the way I looked at it, there's a lot of what you would say middle, kind of lower in the Big 12 are pretty solid teams. They've upset some of these tougher teams, and maybe Kansas has already gotten their upset of the year, beating BYU. But I mean, they're on a high. They're going to be at home. This could be a letdown game for Kansas, and they could just fall apart, but we'll see what happens.
If BYU loses this weekend, boy, is that over. Colorado's got the lead.
Well, it doesn't matter. They're still going to play in the same championship game. That doesn't even matter.
Well, if Arizona State, why wouldn't Arizona State play them?
Why would they play them? They're not.
They'd have the same record, and then they'd have the tiebreaker against BYU beating them head-to-head.
Maybe, yeah.
That would be very scary. BYU was supposed to be in there automatically.
But
they could very well lose out in the Big 12 championship and not even make it. Huh?
Arizona State's a good team. You act like Arizona State's not a good team. They beat Kansas State as well. They beat Utah before their quarterback got hurt.
Yeah, but I saw them lose to Tech, and Colorado destroyed Tech.
Yeah, but that was a close game.
I saw. Yeah, Arizona State's not all that great.
Come on, Arizona State's pretty good.
I saw Cincinnati beat on them too.
Okay. Cincinnati's a pretty good team. You're acting like these teams are no good. Those are good teams.
The teams that I keep naming that are beating them, Colorado's handled them. Yeah, every team of that. I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Everybody has their day. You're just
Neon
talking a lot of trash.
He's him. I'm proud of him.
We'll see. Hopefully you're right, and you can keep talking trash. If not, then it won't look good for you.
Yeah, it won't look good for me. I think Dion overachieved this year already. I'm proud of him.
He definitely overachieved, but that doesn't mean he can't lose one of these games coming up. All right, go ahead, Ken. What's your next?
All right, man. The next game that I wanted to caveat on, man, was there was a big upset, man, and it kind of threw me for a loop Saturday, man. The upset with LSU. Florida ended up beating LSU, man, and I was shocked. I was shocked.
They're done, bro.
The thing that shocked me the most about that game was the poor coaching of what's your boy's name, Jake?
Brian Kelly. It wasn't him. It was that idiot quarterback of his.
Yeah, so they didn't look too good. I can hit the numbers on the LSU Florida game real quick if you want to, Flo.
It's never his guys,
Gus and Meyer.
Yeah, it reminds me of somebody.
Gus and Meyer went 27 for 47.
No.
And he threw for 260 yards and 1 touchdown. But Lagway, the kid from Florida, had a really, really good game. He went 13 for 26, 226 yards, 1 touchdown. So Florida's at 5-5. I mean, Florida, they got Ole Miss this week, which I don't think they're going to beat Ole Miss at all. I think Ole Miss had a bye. Ole Miss going to go in there and pretty much walk the dog on them in Florida. So I think, Florida, the last game Florida will win. Florida will probably end up beating Florida State. They'll get a bowl bid. They'll be bowl eligible at this time. Right now, LSU is currently bowl eligible at this point.
Right.
It was an underachieving game. I'll say this. Garrett Nussmeier, kick his ass out of this damn team, please. This guy turned into a check down quarterback of all time. 3rd and 11 was throwing it to 4 yards. 3rd and 8 throwing it 3 yards. Play to win the game, bro. Don't play just to play.
Win the games.
Yeah. Play to win.
You play
that Florida Tennessee game was a must win for Georgia. So Georgia ended up beating them 31-17. I like the kid. I can't pronounce his name from Tennessee. I'm a lever. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But he's a Samoan kid that plays for Tennessee. He had a pretty decent game. Went 20 for 33, 167 yards. But Carson Beck had a phenomenal game. 25 for 43 for 350 yards.
Nico.
Nico, yeah. And Frazier, our running back, 19 carries, 68 yards, 1 touchdown. And Humphreys,
I'm a lever. I think it's I'm a lever.
Yeah, receiver, 3 receptions, 63 yards. So Georgia's still in contention. I think Georgia's gonna finish the season pretty strong. Georgia has UMass this weekend, but that's not a big game, and I think that Georgia will beat UMass and they'll beat Georgia Tech. But the only big college games that I'm keyed up on this weekend, guys, I think College Game Day is going to Ohio State, Indiana. Ohio State is the 11.5 point favorite. So
you gotta let people talk, man.
Oh, go ahead. My bad, Flo.
You keep going. That's fine with me. Okay. That's the biggest game. But Georgia looked good. They should have won this game. They needed to win this because if they lost this game, they were out the playoffs.
They were done.
So it was a must win. So proud of Georgia. Let's see what happens next week now.
Well, it's funny. It's funny. Just the SEC. You're talking about the SEC, and it's funny how the Texas teams own the SEC right now. Texas is number 1. A&M's number 2.
A&M 2. Yep.
Yeah. Texas teams are owning the SEC right now. So we'll see. Yeah. Go ahead, Cam. Next.
All right. So those were like the big college games that I like that I kind of gravitated from this week, man. But you guys want to talk about week 13?
Well, let's talk about real quick. I just wanted to mention.
Yeah, that's cool.
What about? We're talking about teams. All the main teams, the big teams that we're thinking going to get in. Oregon. Maybe Colorado on the outside shot, but Texas and the bigger teams that are in the top, 5, 6 in the country. But what about Boise State? Could they be a spoiler in the playoffs? Boise State has been looking pretty good. They even gave Oregon, who's atop the rankings, a pretty good game. I think it was a 3-point game. Yeah, they got that running back, Ashton Jonty. I mean, he looks really good. Could you talk about this? Ken and Jake, could they be spoilers in the playoffs?
I mean, I like Boise State, man. And Flo, what I want to say about that entire conference, man, the Mountain West Conference at this point in the season, the Mountain West is looking really, really good, man. Now, here's the thing: when you look at the football standings for the Mountain West, you got powerhouses like Boise State. I think is Oregon.
Washington State's good too.
Yeah, Washington State.
Oregon they're not in that conference, but they played them tight. It was 37-30. They only lost 37-34 to Oregon.
And then you got Colorado State. They look okay. Everybody else looks decent in that conference. But like I said, as we just said, Boise State is that sleeper team. Now here's the thing that I'm kind of perplexed about, guys. You got teams like Army.
Right.
Army's undefeated. I mean,
right.
where does a team like Army sit?
Army.
And you got other teams, SMU, Army.
Shout out to Army.
SMU's undefeated. You know,
right.
Army. And so, I mean, it's gonna be difficult. But
I could see one of those teams making that bottom, that 12th spot, 11th, 12th spot,
right,
knocking out somebody like Alabama who has 2 losses or something like that. But I mean, it all depends, right? I mean, if they really want Alabama, they're gonna have Alabama over Army.
You already know, man. But like I said, I really feel good about this year in the playoff and the whole playoff deal, man. I think it's gonna be a lot of.
This is gonna be just like before when you knocked somebody who was kind of in that right out of the top 4 and you knocked them out because you wanted the name team in there. So this is gonna be kind of the same thing at number 12. You're not gonna put Army in there because they're Army. Even though they made this, record-wise, and
they're record-wise, yeah.
What they've done for the season, you're still kind of knocking down the little guy because you want to see Alabama in there at number 12 and
right.
Army, right? So, what are your thoughts, Jake, on that? Could Boise State kind of be a spoiler in those playoffs?
It all depends who they play. If they play an SEC team, SEC teams are better at defending the run.
They were good against Oregon. They looked really good.
That's not an SEC team. That's a Big Ten team.
I'm just saying, but they're at top of the
an
rankings,
SEC right? team has they're better coached against defending the run, and that's the one thing Boise State's only good at.
Oregon's not better coached, not good coach. They're not having a good coach.
I think Oregon can be mishapped against a physical team. I think they'll be exploited when it's time against an SEC team.
Now, Flo, let me. I want to hit one thing. I don't know if you want to caveat on what Jake is saying, but
their finesse. SEC tends to be very physical and demanding. They fight within the trenches. The Oregons, the Ohio States, even the Boise States.
So you don't think the Big Ten is physical? I think the Big Ten's pretty physical.
Michigan was the last Big Ten, and that was because of Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah,
I mean they beat Ohio State, pretty physical.
Who?
Top team? Oregon.
It was a high-scoring game. It was finesse. 33-36, something like that. Well, that's what I'm saying, though. If you slow the game down, you hit them in the mouth every time, the way Michigan did last year.
Wisconsin played like that, and it was a low-scoring game. They still won that one, 16-13.
Who?
Wisconsin. Wisconsin was
what I'm saying. Yeah, but what I'm saying is SEC takes that to Wisconsin's practically the great value version of the SEC. The SEC's 10 times that physicality. And I think if Boise State has to walk in there and play Alabama, the first, which I think it was projected they'd see Alabama, I think Alabama would destroy them because you stop their run, they can't throw the ball. It's really Alshon Gentry or bust. That's what their team is. And this is what we're going to see.
Okay. All right. Let us know what you guys think about any spoilers out there. You got any more games that happen this weekend, Cam? And then we can go
No. So I wanted to kind of look at some of the projections that I think I saw on ESPN earlier. As far as we look at Week 13, man, and we're looking at Week 13 as if the season were to end today, man. And these are some of the projections that they put out. I mean, your number 1 seed would be Oregon. Number 2 would be Texas. Your 3 would be Miami. They got Boise State at 4. Ohio State 5.
Rankings?
Yeah, I mean, this is like just projections if the season were
projected rankings.
Yeah, projected. Ohio State 5. They got Penn State at 6, Indiana 7, Notre Dame 8, Alabama 9, Ole Miss 10, Georgia 11, BYU 12. Right. So your Your
Is that which ranking is that? Is that the playoff ranking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is playoff ranking. So your Boise State, Boise State, Oregon, Miami, Texas all will get a bye. BYU plays Ohio State. I think Ohio State would kill them. Alabama
No. Who gets a bye?
Your top 4 teams.
No, they wouldn't get a bye. It's the top 4 conference champions get a bye.
Right.
So these wouldn't all be champions because Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State are all in the same conference.
So no. So know what I'm saying? They would Ohio State would play the first round.
Right.
So Ohio State would play your BYU, and then your Alabama will play your Notre Dame. Then your Georgia will end up playing your Penn State first round, and then your Ole Miss will play your Indiana.
Okay.
And then, like I said, the teams that wouldn't play would be like your top 4 playoff teams.
Your conference champions.
Yeah.
Conference champions.
Yeah.
Which looks like it's going to be Oregon, maybe Texas,
Miami, ACC.
Miami and the ACC, right? So they're number 8 now, so they would move into one of those 4 slots.
Yeah.
And then who's the other one? SEC, Big 12. So it'd be whoever wins either BYU or Colorado, probably.
Yeah.
So those would be your top 4 teams.
Yeah.
And right now, Colorado would be probably number 4 because they're the lowest ranked. So they'd be the number 4 slot. So, okay. What do you want to talk about with that? Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I just want to cover that real quick, man. And then I guess we can hit the games that I think like the most. We can hit the big games this week, but there aren't really any big games that are.
There's not much. There's maybe 3, maybe 2 or 3.
Just hit the couple of the big games that are coming up.
The biggest game is going to be College Game Day. Ohio State plays at Indiana. Ohio State 11.5-point favorite. I think Ohio State's going to.
I think they destroy them.
Dismantle those guys, man.
Really? You're not giving Indiana any credit?
No, man.
Being undefeated?
That don't mean. I mean, it's like
they haven't beat anybody.
Like
and they had but they had their injured quarterback, and they still.
But they haven't beaten nobody on their schedule that I'm like, wow.
Yeah, like a wow moment.
There was not one. I can't name anybody. UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwestern, Washington. Like, this is just a bad year.
Washington's a pretty good team. Washington's not a horrible team.
That's a reach.
Nebraska's a feisty team. Michigan.
Rutgers?
No. What makes it worse is Ohio State's been battle tested too. They already saw in Oregon. You know what I mean?
If they beat Ohio State, you finally give them credit.
Yeah, but there's no way. There's no way.
There's no way. No way.
Ohio State's played Oregon and Penn State. They've already been battle tested. Indiana's walking in and hasn't played nobody tough yet. They haven't seen a type of game like this. Oh man!
But Indiana's got a solid. They got a solid offense. They got a solid team this year. Come on.
Then it's in Ohio State. I would give you maybe a puncher's chance, maybe in Indiana. In Ohio State, they're screaming around. Oh man, I got 45-15.
I mean, basically that this game is to get into the championship. I mean, if they beat Ohio State, they're in against Oregon. If they lose, then Ohio State moves up into that second spot to play Oregon.
Absolutely.
So this is in essence a elimination game for the championship. So, all right, I give Indiana a punch. I think it's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be a close game. Even if Indiana loses, I think it'll be a close game.
The way Indiana gets beat down, I think even the playoff guys will look at it and even say, I don't know if we should put this team in the playoffs. I'll be honest with you.
Wow. They're going to kick them out of the playoffs completely.
I'll go 34-10. Wow. 34-10.
I don't know if anybody wants to see an ass kicking like that in the playoffs.
34-10. Wow.
I got 45-15.
College game day, Flo. College game day going to be there, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it'll be closer than that. Don't you think?
I don't know, bro.
I mean, their quarterback, he's thrown for 2,400 yards. He completes 71% of his passes. He only got 4 interceptions. Got 21 TDs. Quarterback's pretty decent for that team.
He ain't seen a team like this.
And they got a couple of good running backs too. Ellison and Lawton. They got a couple of good running backs.
Like I said, I can't wait to see this team.
Okay, we'll see. Let's see what happens. Let us know what you think on that. Is there any other games coming up that's good?
Man, the other game, like I said, the Ole Miss Florida game, man. Ole Miss.
That might be the only upset you can maybe look at. Maybe Ole Miss loses to Florida after Florida's momentum win.
Yeah,
but that's it.
Ole Miss goes in as the 6.5 point favorite. Ole Miss had a bye, so I think they'll be healed up, ready to play some decent football on offense and defense. Lane Kiffin had to, kind of come to Jesus with those guys because they beat Georgia. They beat Georgia, then they had a bye week, and then they're gonna go down to Florida. But then, as Jake just caveated, Flo, man, Florida's on a good high right now, man.
Okay. So, well, what about another big game? Really, BYU Arizona State, because that's an elimination game as well, like you were saying, Jake. Whoever wins that is going to be in the championship game, more than likely.
Yeah.
What do you see there, Canteen?
Huh?
What do you see there?
As far as what BYU, you said BYU and who now?
It's BYU and Arizona State. The winner of that game is going to go probably to the Big 12 championship against Colorado. I'm assuming Colorado wins too. Because
I'm gonna go with BYU on a close game on the road, man.
Okay.
I'll say BYU edges them by 3 on the road, man, in Arizona State.
Okay. I know what you want, Jake. Go ahead.
I mean, it's a win-win either way, but I'll take it. I'll go Arizona State, man. Go ahead and win that game. Arizona State. Win it 23-20.
And they're gonna play Colorado, man.
That's fine with me. I don't care who plays Colorado. They're beating either one.
Really?
Colorado's going to the chip.
They're not going to the chip. I think they're going to lose the Big 12. Whoever they play, they're going to lose.
Yeah, you're crazy thinking that.
Arizona State's been battle tested, man.
Arizona State got their ass whooped by y'all, and they destroyed them.
Oh, and they didn't get whooped. It was 32. It was a one-score game. And they were at Tech, and we were playing well at the time.
Don't be no shatty patty.
Come on.
I can't wait, bro.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we will.
It's going to look ugly.
I'm glad I can't see you.
I know. I'm trying to get this. I don't know what's going on my camera. I'm fixing it.
All right. So let's move on. Anything else for any upset alerts? You see any upset alerts, Ken?
Nah, man, this is gonna be a slow weekend of football. This ain't gonna be.
That's the bad thing about college. That's the only thing I always come back.
Weekend, and then next weekend is next weekend will be like a lot of the in-state rivalries, like Georgia play Tech and Florida State. A lot of those games will be after Thanksgiving. So I mean, that'll be. I'm really ready to get.
I'm gonna call for one upset Indiana over Ohio State.
You're crazy. Yeah, you're reaching
upset
there.
Alert. Upset alert, baby. Upset alert. I didn't say they're gonna win, but I'm calling the alarm. Upset alert. Indiana, Ohio State. Upset alert, baby.
Reach for the stars. That's what we're doing right there.
What are you talking about? All right. Anything else, Cam? You good?
That's it, man.
Appreciate you, Ken. Ken, the stat man. Woo! Giving us all the college breakdown. I know that's his wheelhouse. He loves college football.
Yes.
And
everything.
His Georgia Bulldogs for sure. He loves them Georgia Bulldogs.
Might make it to the next championship and win.
Oh, you still gonna go? You got.
Reaching a little.
Reaching.
You got to deal with Texas, buddy.
All right, let's talk a little.
We already beat them.
Yeah, good luck with that.
We beat them already.
All right, let's go, Ken. It's time. A little NFL action coming to you. Gonna speak a little NFL. Let's go. All right. So Sunday Night Football, Bengals at the Chargers. Can the stat man break it down? Are the Bengals done for you, Ken, once you break it down? And are the Chargers for real?
Man, this morning I got up, guys, had me a cup of coffee, and I watch Unsportsmanlike, man. I'm a big Chris Canty guy.
Okay.
Evan, and Michelle, man. And they were talking about Joe Burrow, man.
Poor Joe Burrow, man.
And I'm gonna say this because Jake just said
Joe Burrow.
At 4-7, he's a great quarterback, but they have lost some hard flow. They ain't been getting blown out. They haven't even been getting
one-score games. One-score games.
And here's the thing, Jake. Joe Burrow is my fantasy quarterback. I said, should I start Lamar Jackson or should I start Joe Burrow? And I started Joe Shiesty. And here's the thing. The game ended 34-27, but Justin Herbert, he threw for 311 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Joe Burrow had over 385 yards passing. 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Austin Eckler from the Chargers rushed for 98 yards and 1 touchdown. And Jamar Chase, 8 passes, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns. Man, this is the numbers that Joe Burrow's putting up are MVP type numbers. I'm gonna be honest. MVP,
that's what makes it sad.
And it hurts my soul, man, because he looks really good, but the team doesn't look good in that 4-7. I mean, there ain't much promising. There ain't no playoff hopes. I mean, it's kind of just, if they had won Sunday night, I would have had some hope. But I think it's going down the tubes flow because you got to look at the AFC North. You got an 8-2 Steelers team. I think you got 7. You got a 7-3 or 7.
Okay, let's just.
Ravens
I mean,
team,
if let's say they upset the Steelers at least one of those games. I mean, all the rest of those games are winnable games. Dallas, Tennessee, Cleveland, and Denver. Those are all winnable games. For all they got to do, can they make it in at 9-8? Maybe you think?
I doubt it, man. I doubt it.
Not enough.
Because Flo, you got to look at the AFC right
now.
Not
only that, they got the Steelers not once but twice.
Flo, when you look at the AFC right now,
they win one of those games. I'm just saying, I don't think they can upset them twice.
Flo, the AFC playoff map is pretty much already in stone. You got the Steelers. Steelers
not in stone. Come on now.
Flo, it's almost solidified at this point in the season, man.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
All the wild cards is up in the air. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, they're up in the air right now. Well, the last two.
But when you look at division winners,
but they're not going for the division. They're trying to get in the wild card.
I don't think they can.
They're right there. Look, they're number 10. They're right behind Miami and Indianapolis to get to that 7th spot against Denver. So they're still in it. It's not like they're totally out of it because
I think if they lose to the Steelers, they pack it up. If they lose this weekend against the Steelers, they pack it up.
They got to start winning. If they got to beat the Steelers, that's true.
Because I don't see them winning 5 straight after that.
They can't, man. I'm not saying it's impossible.
I think they can win. If they beat the Steelers, I think they can roll off 5 straight. And I think that last game against the Steelers will be for that wild card spot.
And it depends if the Steelers are on a good high and they're playing good, they'll probably sit their guys out.
So this Steelers game that shuts the door, right? If they lose this Steelers game, or anything after that, right? But I mean, the Steelers game is going to be the tough game. You know, out of the next 6, it's going to be the really tough game. So, okay, all right. And what do you think about the Chargers? Are they for real?
The Chargers look good, man.
They play smart, is what I'll say.
But then you got to think about the Chargers. The Chargers are gonna have to go toe to toe with Denver, and they
got the Ravens next. Yeah, they got the Ravens next.
The Harbaugh ball of Monday Night Football. That's gonna be
no. The Ravens after a loss don't ever look shaky. They're pissed. Get ready.
I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah. Jake makes a good point.
So are they for real though? You think the Chargers can make a little run?
Then you have the Falcons, the Chiefs, and the Bucks. The Falcons and Bucks are key games. Here's why. They're both trying to fight for that division winner.
Right.
So I think they're going to be playing hard against the Chargers. The way you say the Bengals are going to be playing hard, the Chargers' next 4 games are going to be hard-fought victories because you're playing teams that are playing for their playoff lives.
Yeah.
Really, the next 5, because they got the Broncos after that. They're going to be fighting for a playoff spot team.
Yeah, we'll see what Denver does.
I'm just saying, they're going to be fighting.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see what Denver does. They're doing the thing.
We'll see. But they could be at that point fighting for a playoff spot. So Denver could be really wanting.
What could be very funny is if the Chargers end up losing 2 more games, and now that same wild card spot you keep pointing at Denver, saying, "Oh man, somebody could take this spot. Somebody could very well take that Charger spot too." That's what's scary. These next 4 games are very tough.
They're good. It's a tough schedule. So, at what point do you take them serious then, Canteen?
As far as who?
Going into this tough stretch to Chargers, because it didn't seem like you're really taking them seriously. If they beat Baltimore and Atlanta, then you'll start taking them seriously, or do they have to win 3 or 4 in a row?
Chargers got to win out.
That's a tough road. That's a tough schedule, man, to win out.
If
Baltimore, Atlanta, Kansas City, Tampa Bay, then they got Denver. Of course, the last 2 games it would be easier, New England and Las Vegas, but to win out, with that the next 4 or 5 games?
I think they'll probably split between Atlanta and Tampa Bay. But
Okay.
you ain't really got to worry about much with
I
Atlanta.
don't think they beat the Chiefs in Kansas City.
That's gonna be a tough one too. And then, like I said, as we look at the NFC South, Atlanta already got that pretty much sold up, man.
Okay.
They might go.
All right.
That's
fair.
This is what I say. They go 2-2, 1-3 the next 3 or 4 games.
Well, here's what I say. They played good. Herbert has looked a lot better. You know, like you said, Canteen, 297 yards, 2 touchdowns. He looked solid. He also had 65 yards rushing. He's got that part of his game that he can run around a little bit too. Dobbins looked pretty solid. Running the ball. He had a couple of good runs. He had 2 touchdowns. I don't know. I mean, the Chargers look pretty solid. We'll see what happens. I think the Ravens game is going to be a good test for them, though. It'll be a good test to see where they are. If they can play the Ravens tough, even if they lose, I think that's a good sign for the Chargers. If they win that game, that's a great sign for the Chargers. But if they get like blown out by Ravens, or they lose to fairly easily, I mean that might be a bad sign. They should have lost
this game.
So
Burrow sent them back.
They were almost blowing them away.
Burr sent them. He sent his kicker to kick a field goal twice in that fourth quarter to win that game, and he missed.
But that was poor defensive back play. I mean, those guys were wide open on the back end. Those are like big plays. Those are like
that's like the thing about the Chargers. To me, they can charge her. They can choke.
Okay. All right, let's finish up. We have Monday Night Football. Texans at the Cowboys. Statman. Can the Statman break it down? Does this mean the Texans are back and my Cowboys ravaged by injuries? What's next for my Cowboys being ravaged with all these injuries?
So at this point in the season, I won't say Houston is back. I mean, Houston is riding away because of the way their division is set up. I mean, you got a team. The Jacksonville Jaguars are busted. Tennessee's busted. Indianapolis has the one out to have any contention at all, but I don't know about them. But Houston, they look good. 30-10 victory, man. When we look at Stroud, man, he ended up 23 for 34, 276 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Joe Mixon, 23 carries, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had that 45-yard rushing touchdown that was in the opening drive too, fellas. Cooper Rush, 20 for 36, 211 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Kevontae Turpin had a great strikeout play that one reception for 64 yards and 1 touchdown. Man, it really made me sit here and think a lot about Dallas at this point in the season. I mean, everybody's trying to blackball Dallas. Everybody's dogging them out. Stephen A. Smith. Everybody's, pointing the
because we're America's team.
And Flo caveat on that point. But
even when we lose, everybody's talking about us.
In your mind, rent free. That's what Flo says.
But in your mind, rent free.
But the problem with
loudest fans end up losing.
But the problem with all of that, Flo, is this right
here,
man. How can you have such a great organization, a large fan base, and all the accolades and all the public circumstances? Let me finish, man. I got it. I know the quarterback situation, the injuries, and all the different things of that nature. But when you have opportunities to make quality moves and bring in powerhouse type players to make a difference.
And if we had a running back, do you think that would change where we're at right now? It wouldn't.
How about make the game close? How about make your fans go to the game to watch something at least worthwhile?
Well,
how about this? The only team in the league right now that is undefeated with injuries, it'd be a different story. That's not undefeated. They're defeated completely at home. How about that, Flo? They're defeated at home. That means every time you went to a Cowboy game, you saw them get their ass whooped. That's what I'm saying. How about make yourself formidable?
6 starters.
Stop it, man. Win a game.
Linemen are 4 starting.
You're not the only team injured. You're not the only team injured.
Who has 4 starting linemen out? Name it, Jake. Go.
They're You're losing. You're losing games.
No, you can't talk.
You're not even fighting in these games.
Answer that question.
You're not fighting in these games, Flo.
You can't talk anymore until you answer that question. Go ahead.
What's the question? What's the question?
What other team had all 4 of their starting defensive linemen out for multiple games?
That doesn't mean anything to me. Here's the reason why.
It doesn't matter.
Here's the reason why it doesn't mean nothing to me.
It does mean something.
If your team is known for offense.
You can't talk anymore till you answer that question. Can't talk anymore.
Let me explain this.
No, because you can't answer it until you talk. You're not going to be allowed to.
I'm about to.
Nope. You got to talk. Start talking names. You better start with a name.
No.
You got to start with a name, or you're not going to say
Look at how hurt he.
You're not going to say anything because I'm asking you a question. You got to answer the question first.
The question is.
You're just no. You're
the
not.
Question's irrelevant.
No, okay. Then you can't talk anymore.
How come I can't talk about the Cowboys? It's not my turn to
I want
talk.
you to answer that because you're the one, downing them when I'm talking about injuries. And I want you to name
Because let me tell you something,
has
Flo.
4 starting defensive linemen out for multiple games.
Flo, you hold on. Your defensive lineman, Micah Parsons, is back.
Yeah, he's
How's the game not that close?
It's only one guy.
Oh, stop, Flo.
They had one of them out since the beginning of the season. They had the second one out towards the first 2 games.
I don't want to hear this because the NFL is full of injuries, Flo. We can look up the injury report with everybody.
Tell me another team that has.
Hold on, Flo. Here's the biggest point.
Starting defensive lineman out for multiple games.
Canteen.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Are the Cowboys known?
You're not gonna talk, man.
What are they known?
Let him talk, man.
How come?
Okay, what?
Go ahead, Cam.
Look how this.
Okay, what was the point that you trying to make?
I'm trying to get at.
You're not gonna do it, man. Because you're not answering the question. I'm not gonna let you answer the question.
No.
Let him
answer the question.
Here.
Come on, man.
Live.
I know you're not answering the question. Go ahead, Ken. You go.
Let
him go first. Let him go first. Let Ken finish his thoughts. So you interrupted him first.
Okay, Ken. Finish your thoughts, and then I'll bring up my thoughts.
So here's the point.
Answer the question first.
No.
Dallas.
No. Who said that?
I did.
No, stop that. You got to admit your losses, and this is bad for you.
Yeah, because with all these injuries, and you won't admit that. Go, Ken. Let him finish.
All right. Let me finish this point, Jake. So here's the thing, man. Dallas has a long road to tour ahead now. Now here's the thing that's gonna put the icing on the cake for me with the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have a tough game on Sunday with Washington with the Commanders. It's gonna be tough. If the Cowboys find a way to lose the Giants on Thanksgiving, Flo, I would say throw in the towel. Did Jake leave?
No, I made him go out.
Why?
You can't bring yourself in. Because he keeps talking over you.
But yeah, that's my point. That's my point on the whole Cowboys game. But let him finish this point, man. Go ahead, Jake.
Here's my point. Canteen. The past 3 years, were the Cowboys known for offense or defense? Offense. So you had Dak this whole time, and you didn't do nothing with Dak. You barely lost Dak 2 games ago.
Right.
You've been piss poor this whole time. This is what makes me laugh about him. And Flo knows this. This is what makes me laugh too. This proves Flo wrong. Remember, Canteen, he says that I run away, right? He's ran away. He's not there. He don't want to hear it. Here's my point. You could not win this game. You can't be in the game at all. You can't fight to win. Play in the game at all.
They were in the game.
No, you got destroyed. You've been destroyed.
They were in the game. They were in the game until that fumble.
Injuries don't count whenever your offense was still good the half the season. Your offense was not injured. Your offense was not injured.
Hold on, Jake. Before you talk, what about Bengals? They have a great offense, and they're the same record. What about them? Explain that one.
Do they look better than y'all?
I'm just saying, explain it.
Hold on, Canteen. Did we not just bring up how the Bengals are losing one-score games, and the Cowboys have the same offense and getting their ass whooped?
Same record. It doesn't matter. Same record.
But you're getting your butt whooped.
Same L's.
I'm seeing Cowboy fans next to me crying and saying, I've never seen these ass kickings before like this.
And defense.
It's embarrassing, Flo. It's sad. It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing because we have a lot of injuries and we don't have a lot.
No, it's embarrassing that you're not even trying. There's no trying these teams.
They are trying. Come on.
Oh, no. Hell no.
They are trying. Come on.
35-10?
They're still trying.
Jake, as I said, man, if they lose to the Giants on Thanksgiving, I think that
it's over. These guys suck. They suck.
It's been over since we lost our quarterback. We've been injured all year long.
No, it was over prior to that.
No, it wasn't.
Straight garbage. Cowboy fans, congratulations. Bad season.
You might miss the playoffs too, so it doesn't matter. You'll be at the couch like us.
Hey, all I know is this: we look better than y'all right now, and I told you that was going to happen.
If you're on the couch with us, it won't matter.
All I know is you told me y'all have a better record than us. That's not looking good right now, Flo.
All I know is if you're on the couch with us, it doesn't matter.
That's not looking good right now. Y'all have a better record than us.
It's real good because y'all only won one game out of the last 4 or 5 games.
What do you mean we won one game in the last 4 or 5? What?
Yeah.
Yes.
The last Flo, let me ask you a question now. I'm just asking. When was the last time the Dallas Cowboys scored a touchdown?
Yesterday.
That was last time.
The last time what?
But I mean the last time before yesterday though. Like the last time they had like a touchdown score before yesterday.
I'm not. What does that have to do with anything?
You don't want to answer that.
I'm saying, what does that have to do with anything? When was the last time we had Dak on the offense?
Y'all play bad, and here's what's worse, Flo. Y'all got no future right now. You got no future. You just paid Dak all that money.
So?
And CD that money.
So?
What are you getting this offseason? What are you gonna do?
We got a starting quarterback, we got a starting receiver, and we're gonna have a starting defensive lineman. That's all.
Y'all had them, and y'all were getting your ass whooped by the Saints and
no,
Lions.
We didn't have them. They were injured. They've all been injured all year.
Jake, give them that point. They have had a lot. They have been injured.
No. Ken, I get the injuries. Here's the thing: your offense still looked bad. It doesn't mean, hey, just because your defense looked bad doesn't mean your offense had to look that bad. You were getting destroyed. These games weren't 35-38. These were 36-5, 36-9.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
the offense is terrible. If you're paying most of your team on the offensive side and you're scoring a massive 13 points, Canteen, that's embarrassing. You're paying all the money to the offense and they can only give you 13 points? Sad. It's embarrassing to watch.
That's at home.
It's sad, even worse, that they're the only team that's never won a game this season at home. Their Cowboy fans are walking into that game knowing we're going to probably lose today. That's embarrassing.
It was a close game against Baltimore. We scored. It was 28-25. So that wasn't a blowout.
Blown out by the Lions. Blown out by the Saints.
The Saints was 30-24. That was a close game.
The Saints was 30-24?
Yes.
What game were you watching?
The 49ers. 30-24.
The Saints, y'all got destroyed.
30-24.
Yeah, y'all lost close to the 49ers.
Atlanta was 27-21.
That was in San Francisco. I'm talking about home games. You're getting blown out.
It's a close game.
At home, you're getting blown out by the Eagles, by the Texans, by the Saints, by the Lions.
It doesn't matter. You act like we don't have any close games.
No, what I'm saying is at home, your Cowboy fans are walking in at home seeing losses like that.
You just say home games. Now you're bringing up home games. You just talked about offense.
I told you you're the only team
play well, but
that's been defeated at home, Flo. You're the only team that's been defeated at home. You haven't won a game at home at all.
You were talking about the offense, and the offense has played well on the road. They just haven't played well.
Oh, your offense plays poor when in the biggest moments. That's what happens. You're paying that much money and they play poorly.
All right, Flo. So here's what I want to hit on this.
You're just a hater, so it doesn't matter.
Here's what I want to hit on the Cowboys, guys, and then
I'm a realist.
We're done with this game. Go.
Here's what I want to hit on the Cowboys, and then we're gonna move on, guys. All right, Jake. So with the Cowboys for the duration of the season, man, they have the Commanders, Giants, Bengals, Panthers, Buccaneers, Eagles, Commanders. How many wins?
Maybe 2.
That was it.
We don't have our quarterback.
Maybe 2.
Probably 2.
All right. What's the next game, guys?
Okay. What's the next season, Cowboys?
What are you talking about? I mean, we're rattled with the injuries. How are we going to win games?
I know y'all injured, man. I know you injured.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. All right. So let's move on. I'll let the haters done. Here we go. So let's get our offensive rookie of the year, Ken. Maybe if we don't get through all these, we'll get to them next week. But right now, who we got offensive rookie of the year? Odds favorites right now is Jaden Daniels, Brock Bowers,
brother.
Caleb Williams, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, or someone else.
Man, I'm going Jaden Daniels, man.
You better be careful, Ken.
Man, but let me say this. Jaden Daniels, he's thrown for over 2,300 yards. He's about 70% of his attempts have been good. He's had 10 touchdowns with only 3 interceptions. And his passing and his passer rate is at 99%. Very efficient in the pocket. Dual threat guy, man. He's rushed for over 482 yards, 92 carries, and about 5 yards per attempt. And he's at 4 rushing touchdowns. His numbers look phenomenal. He's done great in his organization. I don't foresee any other rookie that's competing with him at this point in the season.
What? Whoa.
Yeah. Solid. Go ahead,
Jake.
I was with you all the way through that Jaden Daniels looked like the best rookie. But there's a boy, when you don't know Bo, you don't know Bo. Bo Nix the fix. 4 TDs this past week. He caught up on the TDs. I remember y'all were laughing at the beginning of the year. Oh, man, he can't get a TD. He's now caught up with all of them. In fact, he has more total touchdowns than every rookie in the quarterback phase. He has 21. Jaden Daniel has 16 total touchdowns. This is what's going on. Bo Nix could very well, and if he does what he does, we might have to get him.
Interceptions.
That's fine. Rookie of the year.
He's got 3 more.
Rookie of the year. All I'm saying is he's doing his thing. He is doing his thing.
He's not winning Rookie of the Year, though.
We don't know that, Flo. The Commanders are on a 2-game skid.
You're calling it now.
What do you mean am I calling it now? I'm saying it's a race between those two. It's a race between those two. We'll see what happens.
Who do you think's going to win?
Well, I'm rooting for Bo.
Well, I know you're rooting for Bo.
But Bo looks great. Bo does look better than a lot of these quarterbacks. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I agree with Canteen. I think it's Jaden's to lose. All right. Let's move on to Defensive Rookie of the Year. See the leading candidates. Jaden Verse, defenseman with the Rams. When I said he's going to be replaced Darnold, he's going to look good as a replacement for him. He's leading the pack right now. Also, Quinion Mitchell, a quarterback from the Eagles. Kalen Bullock, a safety for the Texans. And Latu, defensive end for the Colts, or someone else. What do you got, Cam?
I went with Verse, man. I really didn't pull much data on the kid. I just looked at the odds, and I saw him as number 1. That's who I selected, man.
Okay.
I'm just being honest. I ain't really put too much thought into the defense.
Okay. Verse is doing good. Here's the thing, though. I don't think the Rams' record will help his case. Quentin Mitchell, guys, he's a corner that locks down his side of the field. I'm proud of him. He's doing his thing. Here's the thing about the Eagles, and I try to tell this about other guys on this pod trying to tell me the Eagles were a demise on themselves.
You're the one that's the worst. It was the worst
division, but I had the Eagles winning that division, and they sure as hell doing it.
They're the only other division that has two teams in the playoffs right now.
What do you mean? The NFC North is pretty tough over there.
Right. Besides them.
I think the Commanders are about to fall down. You watch what happens.
They wouldn't have any, or they'd only have one.
Well, I'll say this more than ever: the Commanders could lose the very well next here soon. Now they play the Cowboys; everybody gets a free dub against those guys. But other than that, they'll have some pretty tough losses.
You're not right. Yeah. Come on, man.
Taking shots, side shots. He's done for the show. All right, we'll see you later, Jake.
You ain't gonna bring him back.
I'll bring it back. All right, so here we go. So Defense Player of the Year. I like Jaden Verse. I think he's done really well for the Rams. I think he's really picked up with Donald being gone. Like you said, the record could hurt him, but for Defensive Player of the Year, a lot of times the record doesn't really mean as much. I think if they're making an impact on their team, that's what matters for Defensive Player of the Year, as opposed to Offensive Rookie of the Year. All right, so Offensive Player of the Year. Here's the odds-on favorites right now. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Canteen, Derrick Henry for the Ravens, Saquon Barkley, Eagles, Jamar Chase for the Bengals, Lamar Jackson for the Ravens, Justin Jefferson for the Vikings, or someone else. What do you got, Ken?
Man, you got Derrick Henry. He's accumulated over 1,073 rushing yards, 9 touchdowns. He averages at least 107 yards per game. And he's also caught 18 passes for 154 yards. That's just Henry. Saquon Barkley, 1,100 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns, 197 carries, 113 rushing yards per game. He has 210 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns on 23 receptions. So they both look good. Lamar Jackson has had a decent season. You said Jamar Chase or just Jamar Chase and Jefferson?
Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, they have Lamar Jackson in there as well.
Man, if I had to go right now, it's gonna be a tight race between Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, man. Yep. And the reason I'll say this,
okay,
man, these guys look like fresh football players that have had a fresh start. They look good. They're performing. They don't even look. When they played at other organizations like Tennessee and when he played at the Giants, they look like nothing. But now they look like powerhouse superstars. To me, it's between those two guys for Offensive Player of the Year.
Here's what's gonna happen. The thing about the Ravens that they do that messes it up, and this is one thing I don't like about Harbaugh. He goes away from the run. So I think if anything that hurts Henry is Harbaugh tends to go away from the run, especially if nothing's falling their way and they get down in the game. Well, but one thing I know about the Eagles, they fall everything into Saquon and let Saquon do his thing. Well, I think Saquon will get it.
That's a little bit of oxymoron, Jake, because Derrick Henry's got the most rushing attempts of anyone in the NFL right now. He's tied with
but the games they've lost, he's had 10 attempts, stuff like that.
Right, but I mean, he's still got the most rushing attempts of any.
Flo, on their 2-point conversion. Think of this, guys. Their 2-point conversion, the biggest play of the game.
I'll give you this. They make some.
They don't have Derrick Henry playing that. He's not even in the lineup. How the hell you do that?
I don't think that affects Derrick Henry being offensive player of the year, though.
What I'm saying is those are plays that could be added on to help his argument. There are plays they keep him out and they put in especially shotgun formations that Lamar's in. They put his backup in. I say that's the reason Saquon should get it. Saquon's a catching type running back, and he can destroy you on the run game from the I formation as well. He's very good. I think Saquon's probably the best in the league right now. And that's because I had Josh Jacobs that high. But Saquon's showing it.
You talking about receiving? Or just, what are you talking about best? Just overall?
That's the best running back.
Okay. I can go with that.
Pound for pound.
So you give him the nod for Offensive Player of the Year? Is that what you're saying?
I think he'll get it.
Okay. Defensive Player of the Year, leading candidates right now. We got two more. We can get through this. It's not too bad. TJ Watt for the Steelers. Chris Jones for the Chiefs. Dexter Lawrence for the Giants. Will Anderson Jr. for the Texans. And Trey Hendrickson for the Bengals. Or someone else. What do you got, Ken? What do you think?
Watt, man.
I go Watt also.
Yep. Watt. Okay. All day long, Watt.
I think so too. I think we're all in agreement that TJ Watt's probably been the most effective on one of the best defenses this year in the league.
Yes,
all right, Coach of the Year. Favorites right now: Andy Reid from the Chiefs, Mike Tomlin from the Steelers, Dan Campbell from the Lions, Dan Quinn from the Commanders, Kevin O'Connell from the Vikings, and Harbaugh from the Chargers, or someone else. What do you think, Cam? Who do you like?
Man, I mean, you got so many great names. I mean, I love Dan Campbell. I love what Mike Tomlin has done in the face of adversity. Man, he's able to take a team. People thought it was crazy by benching the quarterback, starting this quarterback, doing all these different things with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, but he was able to use his mind, get in two good quarterbacks. Nobody projected that they would be at 8-2 and leading their division at this point. But I think the best person right now for Coach of the Year, man, I got to give it up to Dan Quinn, man. Dan Quinn has done an extraordinary job in his first season with the Commanders. I didn't think they were going to be performing at this level, but they're performing really well. He's a great defensive mind, and he's allowed Cliff Kingsbury to do his job. He's allowed Kingsbury to coach Jaden Daniels and develop the offense in such a way. So if I had to pick my top three, I probably would go Quinn.
So give me your top two.
Probably Quinn and Campbell.
Okay.
Because Campbell's doing some great things up there in Detroit as well. Okay. But
they were kind of expected to do good things, so.
Yeah. Probably Quinn and Campbell, man.
Okay. What do you got, Jake?
I'll go for what the lineup you gave me. I'll go
someone else. You can go someone else.
Well, if I think Denver makes the playoffs, then Sean Payton should be on there, especially with what he's dealing with right now. Remember, they're paying Russ all that money, so he didn't have that much in cap.
Give me one of your two or your top.
If he makes the playoffs, absolutely, he'd be the top one. That'd be the greatest, one of the best moves ever. To have a piss poor, you really had to deal with what you just had, and you make the best out of it. That's what I like that he's doing, and he's doing it right now. 6-5. This team was projected to have 5 wins.
Okay.
Got to give credit's due.
And who's your other one? Who's your other pick?
Judging by the list, I'd go Campbell. Campbell is not just beating teams; they're destroying. They're demolishing teams.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Coach of the Year. I think all these guys have reasons. I think Mike Tomlin. I was kind of leaning toward Mike Tomlin, getting basically 2 quarterbacks that nobody wanted. They thought Russ was washed, and Justin Fields. They thought he was.
Why did he look washed this past week?
Potential bust, but nope. They're leading their division. So
defensive wise, that defense is really carrying the hell out of that team.
Can you just let me finish? I didn't interrupt you, man.
Yeah, you did. You put 1-1-1 in the middle of it.
I
don't want to hear that. I've been cut out all game. All this show, I've been cut off. Get out of here. Don't expect me now to not get interrupted. People.
You finished?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I was leaning Mike Tomlin with the Steelers because the job that he's done with those, even with the quarterback, being a defensive guy and being able to have those quarterbacks play as well as they have, I think is a plus for Mike Tomlin. And he's leading the division when people thought he may not make the playoffs this year. I think that's a plus. And I think, like you said, Dan Quinn has done good with the Commanders. But I'm going to lean a little bit because I think Coach of the Year is more than just about, is your team playing well? Because I think everybody expected the Chiefs to play well or to make the playoffs. Most people expect the Lions to make the playoffs. I think I like Kevin O'Connell from the Vikings. He had his starting quarterback go down. And
right, that's true.
I don't think Sean Payton, if Bo Nix goes down, I don't think Sean Payton makes the playoffs. The Vikings are going to make the playoffs with their backup guy. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty impressive. Kevin O'Connell, I think, he's done a great job.
He's got an offensive player of the year right there.
Losing his starter, I think that's. I mean, and this is a guy that Darnold that everybody kind of threw away, and he picked him up, and he's been able to keep him on pace. He hasn't quite fallen apart. He's had a couple of rough games, but he's still been able to keep the Vikings on pace to make the playoffs and possibly fight for that division. So for me, it's Kevin O'Connell, and then maybe Mike Tomlin if I had to pick a second one. All right, finish up. Last one, and then we'll talk about a couple games. So MVP, Canteen. Let's talk about this one. Alan put it, I don't know if he's still here, but he said, do you feel, that the reason no one has been fired yet in Dallas is because they're intentionally tanking, or is it just Jerry being Jerry? For me, it's Jerry being Jerry. He's just being Jerry. That's who he is, man.
Man, it's stubborn, man.
He is stubborn.
How are you continually stubborn each week? And then you get up there in front of the news, the reporters, and you have like this sour look on your face, like the world is tumbling down on you, and you are the pawn that makes all the decisions in this organization. That doesn't
the big decisions. Yep. So it is Jerry Green Jerry. I don't think they're tanking intentionally. I think they're tanking in spite of Jerry or with Jerry's help. I think that's what they're doing, and Jerry's not unintentionally doing it, but they're tanking because of Jerry. But it's unintentional. It's just Jerry being Jerry. That's what I think. So let's go to MVP, our last category. Right now, the odds favorites are Josh Daniels with the Bills, Lamar Jackson, Ravens, Jared Goff, Lions, Jalen Hurts, Eagles, Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs, Kyler Murray, Cardinals, and then they even got rounding out Joe Burrow, Bengals. And then Justin Herbert, I'll put him in there. He's kind of right there with Joe Burrow at the Chargers. What do you got, Ken? Who do you think?
Man, right now, with the way the season is panning out and after watching Sunday's victory, I got to go with Josh Allen. Josh Allen has put up phenomenal numbers, has made great decisions, has done a great job, and has had a great season. They're currently at, I believe they're at 9-2. I think for them,
go ahead, finish up, and then give me your second guy.
They're 9-2. Great season so far. They're looking good. My two guys as far as MVP, man, Patty Mahomes is always going to be in that contention, man. There ain't no question. I mean, and Joe Burrow would be up there, man. But like I said, his record doesn't reflect his accomplishments, man.
Right.
That's a tough cookie, man. He has the accomplishments, but the record doesn't reflect
his team, bro. His team's trash.
They're killing him, man.
His defense.
Yeah. So here's my top four. I would go Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, and then probably Herbert. Not Herbert, but Burrow.
What are you? Where are your three?
I'm gonna go Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes,
And then Burrow.
Jared Goff, then Burrow.
Oh, I just wanted 3, but go. That's cool. Go ahead.
I'll go 2. My number 1, and I think they'll take over. They'll either be the 1 or 2 seed in the AFC is Josh Allen, and the number 2 to me is Jared Goff. Because if Jared Goff does his thing out there in Detroit, that's a bad boy. So,
sorry, 5 interceptions in 1 game, so I don't know. But
that's fine. He won that game.
Yeah, but not because of him, like you like to say.
What do you mean? He had to drive down.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have been in that position without those 5 interceptions.
He didn't need field goals to win. He drove down and scored touchdowns. There's another quarterback we were talking about earlier that had to rely on field goals.
Close in that game if he hadn't thrown all those interceptions. But anyway,
I saw him very well blow out teams too.
Mm-hmm. You done? Okay. All right. So MVP. For me, Josh Allen would probably be right now my second guy. Just because he's right there, and everybody thought the Bills weren't going to make the playoffs, so they're going to be maybe in second place behind either the Jets or the Dolphins. Of course, the Dolphins lost 2 for a little bit, but I mean, people were already thinking the Bills would be fighting for that number 1 spot in the division, but they actually got a little worse, especially a wide receiver as far as talent, and they look better. And shout out to Sean McDermott, maybe honorable mention for Coach of the Year. I mean, he has that defense playing well, and they lost pieces. And so I like Josh Allen as my number 2 guy. He's right there. But for me, because you're talking about most valuable player, you're talking about not just necessarily the best at their position or the best player in the league necessarily, but most valuable player is most valuable to what that team's doing and the success of that team. For me, it's Saquon Barkley. I think Saquon Barkley has kept those Eagles afloat. I think he is the MVP of the year because he's had to, even though he had that 1 drop where they lost the game, but for some of the plays that he made, the Eagles may have lost 2 or 3 more other games. Saquon has kept them. He's been if he was not there and they had what they had last year, they'd be struggling to win. They'd be like behind Washington for sure, and they'd maybe.
That's a real organization right there. Proud of the Eagles for picking up what they.
So I think Saquon Barkley for me is the MVP right now, as far as the MVP of the league. And then Josh Allen right behind him. He's played really well despite losing integral pieces. All right, let's go to some games, call some games. You want to do Thursday Night Football, Steelers, Browns, or?
That's a trash game. That's going to be a blowout.
I don't know. I think it'll be close because it's a divisional game, but I think the Steelers win that game. But let's go to some good games. Vikings and the Bears. That's a big game for the Vikings. It's at the Bears. Bears are 3.5-point underdogs at home. Ken, who do you like here?
Well, Vikings, man. Vikings by 7.
I got Vikings as well. Caleb and them are done.
Yeah,
okay. I think the Bears have played well, and the defense has played. I think this will be a close game because it's a divisional game, and I think the Bears defense plays pretty well. The Vikings, I told you guys that Vikings defense was solid with Brian Flores all year, and I think they're keeping them in the game. I hope that Darnold can hold up. I still don't trust him, but they've been able to keep them together and not let him do too much. If you make him throw the ball and take away everything else and make him be more of just your main person throwing the ball and be in the pocket and making plays, he's not gonna be able to do that. So we'll see what happens, but I think the Vikings win this in the close one. I think it's a 3-point game at this point. I'll make my Flo's favorites picks later on this week.
Yeah,
I'm leaning right now. So Lions at Colts. Colts.
Ooh, man, I hope you got the right team right there, Flo.
These are what?
I hope you picked them Colts the way you were bragging on them this past week.
Lions at Colts, 7.5-point favorite. So this is a big underdog. But they're at home. Anthony Richardson looked pretty good coming back. What do you got, Ken, on this one?
Man, I'm gonna go against the grain on this one, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Colts by 3.
Oh.
I'm gonna go Colts by 3.
Yeah, y'all go ahead. I hope y'all both do it.
if you're the Lions, go ahead and take an L now. Go ahead and take an L against the AFC team, and you'll be fine. Just take an L now. Trust me. Take an L now.
Okay.
Move on and focus on other things you can focus on. Close game. Anthony Richardson. I think him, Jonathan Taylor. Mm-hmm. I think they're gonna show up and show out at home Sunday in front of the home crowd. Okay,
so you think that sitting them down kind of did him some good, sitting them down and making them think about it. Okay. What do you think, Jake? I know who you got, but go ahead.
38-10. They destroy him. Sorry, buddy. He's facing the real team. He's not facing the bum-ass Jets.
Okay. I think the Colts are a well-coached team, and I think that I like the head coach there. This is going to be a close game. I think the Lions may pull this out. I would be pulling for the Colts because I like the Colts. I like Anthony Richardson. I think he's learned his lesson somewhat. He's got a lot of mobility, and I think at home they're going to play well. This will be a close game. I think they cover. I think the Lions pull this out right now is what I'm thinking, but it's going to be like a 3-point game though. I don't think it's going to be a ball like.
Well, a loss is a loss in that column, no matter what.
Yeah, but
those
it's not
guys need to catch up.
We'll see.
Catch up.
Always surprised if the Colts pull it out though. I might end up picking them. All right, so the Cowboys and the Commanders, 10-point underdogs going into Washington. These are our teams, so we always pick our teams. Go ahead, Ken.
Man, I gotta take a deep breath on this one. I think, man, this is a hard one, man. At this point in the season, I think the Cowboys will put up a good fight.
No, they won't.
But let me say this, Jake. I'm gonna go 27-10. Commanders win.
Okay.
I got 41-14.
Ooh, I ain't go that. You went crazy, Jake. You going crazy.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys still got some fight in them. We have a lot of injuries, and we got a starting quarterback out. We have our second receiver out.
I think the game's close, please.
I think the game will be a little closer, but I still think the Cowboys just don't have enough. They're still missing a lot on defense, and that makes it really tough for them. So I'm gonna go. I think they may cover. I'm gonna go 27-20. They cover, but they're gonna lose this game 27-20. That's where I'm leaning right now. Let me see my official picks later. All right, so the Broncos at the Raiders. Raiders 5.5-point underdogs at home. What do you got, Ken?
Man, Broncos in LA. I mean, in Las Vegas.
It's in Vegas. It's in Vegas, Cam. It's in Vegas.
I'm gonna go 30.
Okay.
30-14.
Who
you got?
Denver.
Wow, that's a division rival game.
30-14 Denver. Wow. Okay. Y'all have a game this weekend, Ken?
Probably got to buy.
You got to buy. Okay, that's what I thought. I just thought I maybe missed it. Go ahead. What do you got on this one?
There's a trap game. Broncos. You got to play smart here. I'm gonna say 23-20. It's gonna be a close one. Ooh. Division rival. Got to beat the Raiders though. 23-20 Denver.
Denver wins this one 23-20. All right. I kind of like that score. I think this, like you said, this is a division game, and it could be somewhat of a trap game for them. The Raiders, I think they always play them tough, and they're playing at home. Coming off a pretty big win against Atlanta, so this could be one of those games where they come down. I think it'll be a close game. I like 26-24 Broncos right now. 26-24 Broncos pull this one out in a close one. 49ers at the Packers. Packers 2.5-point underdogs at home, or favorites at home. Sorry, 2.5-point favorites. Packers. What do you got, Ken?
Man, 40. I think 49ers are desperate, man. They're desperate. They need a win. I think this will be a close game in Lambeau. Mm-hmm. Very close game. I'm gonna go 24-27. The 49ers win. That'll keep them alive because you got to think about there are 3 teams in that division that are right at 500. 3 teams at 5-5, and then you have Arizona. I think they're 6-4. Yeah, mm-hmm. Arizona 6-4. Everybody else is 5-5.
They're trying to catch up.
I think the 49ers win this game, and this gives them the edge to keep pushing throughout the season. 49ers lose. It ain't a good road ahead for them, man.
Okay. So you got the 49ers winning what?
27-24.
Okay.
I think this is the Niners season right here. If they lose this game, I think they're at the offs. So I'm going to go Niners win off of very desperate times, call for desperate measures. They're going to win this game. I'm going to say 28-24. They pull out this victory because if they lose this, I think they're done.
Done.
Really? Okay.
They'll be too far back.
Winning. Okay. I mean, I kind of agree with you guys that they need to win this game. But the 49ers haven't looked that good all season. I mean, I know they got T-Mac back, but they've struggled all year to beat teams. And Green Bay really needs this game. I mean, because if they go 7-4, they're in third place. I mean, you know, they're in danger of missing the playoffs possibly if they lose any more games after that. And I mean, Green Bay, they got Miami coming up, and Miami's fighting for a playoff spot. Then they got Detroit, Seattle possibly fighting for a playoff spot. But then you do have New Orleans in there, but then they got Minnesota again, and then Chicago. They may be out of it by then, so that might be an easy game. But I mean, they can ill afford to lose this game as well because they've got a couple of tough games coming up, especially against a division rival. Oh man, I think you're right. If they lose this game, they may be out of it. Just because the Niners are a little more desperate team, I'm gonna say they win this, but it's on the road. Man, I think they win it because they are a little more desperate and they really need this game. They may put something together. This will be a close game. Green Bay got away last week against Seattle in a tough one. So this will be another tight one, something like that, 21-20. I think they pull it out. San Francisco pulls it out by the skin of their teeth, I think. All right, so Cardinals at the Seahawks. This is a good division game. A lot of playoff implications here. What do you like here?
I'm going Seahawks, man.
Okay.
Oh hell no.
I'm going and the reason I'm going Seahawks, man.
Okay.
The Seahawks hot. I think everybody's sleeping on Geno. Now here's the thing.
There's a reason for that.
I got it, y'all. Flo, you call him a pumpkin or whatever you be calling him.
Yeah, he turns into pumpkin.
If they beat Arizona Sunday, there's a lot to be said about it. I'm gonna go. This will probably be more. It ain't gonna be much scoring. I'm gonna go 24-20. I'm taking Seattle.
Ooh, 24-20. So that means Seattle probably would take first place again, or at least be tied.
Which I don't think happens.
Wow.
I think the Cardinals stay winning. They're hot right now. They've won 4. They're probably that's after the Bills. I would say this is the second hottest team in the league right now. The way they've been winning, they've won 4 straight. They're beating everybody in their way. They had a bye week as well. Want to add that in also. So they're well rested. They're ready. So I'm gonna say they win this game 28-13. I think it was an aberration game for Geno last week.
I tend to agree with Jake on this one. I think the Cardinals are playing really well right now. They lost the game kind of pretty badly to Green Bay, but before that, they had just beaten a tough game against San Francisco when San Francisco was still, everybody still thought they were a team to beat. They also beat the Chargers a few weeks ago, which we see how good the Chargers are. And Miami, I mean, I think Tua had already come back at that point. I mean, they beat Chicago, and they beat the Jets, and those are kind of easier games. But like you said, they're coming in a bye. They're coming out of a bye. I like them on the road. I think Cardinals keep this going and keep the first place going. They win a close one. I'm going to go 27-20. All right, so the rest of the games that are getting good are the Sunday Night Football, Eagles at the Rams, and we'll talk about that on Sunday Night Surge, Sunday Surge, and then the Ravens at the Chargers on Monday Night Football. All right. Woo! What a show! What a show!
Good run, man. A lot of stuff.
Yeah. Any final words, Canteen, for the people out there?
Hey, thank y'all for tuning in, man. Check us out on all of our platforms, man. The Bottom Line Sports Show. Thank y'all.
Check us out. All right, and check out Ballin' Buds, the sports professor, Omar Fonseca over there, and Clubber D's over there with him. Check him out over there, and then check out Jake over there on the Final State Podcast with Juan and Matty Ice over there. Check out that podcast on YouTube. Any final words, Jake?
We ready, man. We ready for Sunday Surge. Hey, Omar, hate that you missed the show, bro. I hope you're there Sunday. This will be a good one. Raiders Broncos, division rivals, man.
Let's go. Man, you better hope he's going to be all over you if you lose that game, man. You know that. He's going to be
all over him if we win that game.
Oh, man. Well, he's already expecting to lose, but if he wins, he's going to be all over you, man. But it'll be good. It'll be fun, though.
I can't wait. Hey, that Chargers-Ravens game I'm going to love because I think that's a win-win. I don't know how we're not looking at that.
Well, I mean, we're looking at the game, but it's Sunday. It's Monday Night Football now.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I didn't even think of it The Ravens have 4 losses. They lose that game, they're tied with us. And now they're going after another wild card spot. It's going to be good.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, that could be a must win for them, for the Ravens. That might be a must win for them.
It's going to be great.
We'll see you next time on the Bottom Line
Sunday Surge.
Sunday Surge this Sunday between Sunday Football and the end of the afternoon. Catch us on all your channels, on this channel, Let's Talk Sports, and all the channels. See you next time. This is the Bottom Line Sports. Peace. We out.